Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John's report is for the 9th of December. And well, the softness came. We saw this on the 50K where we had the MBI white spike, and it just took a little while for another one to come in before we finally got a little fade off from there. And again, this is that stalling at the peak, and not great because now if things continue, you'll end up with magenta below yellow as well as below the 33, and that will project a little bit more softness and the potential for breaking of that 76%. Still seeing from a DOC though, continuation of this, which at this point is just mostly sideways. We'll almost have a reset of the DOC steel, but that's got to come out further below. And your shakeout still riding above, but we could start to see a little breakdown. If you dip below back into negative, then you're looking at full run back towards that 50%. So keep an eye on that, and it's just part of anticipation the Fed is going to cut further, and that's going to spur something. But sort of in a malaise period right now. Wouldn't call it stagflation or anything. It's just you're not seeing any changes in the status quo, and because of that, there's just no real significant change in the projection. Of course, you still have all the investment things is going to start taking place sometime first, second quarter of next year, but even that's going to be slightly slower, and it's just all part of the delay setup, and then that's going to start leading into midterms, so there's going to be paralysis, and then you're going to have new budget situation. It is going to continue. It's the same old story. Of course, the anticipation is though that the Fed is going to actually do something, and it seems unlikely that they're going to do anything significant. Even a quarter point is going to help anything per se. The bigger problem is here at oil, and that's just because you're in this status quo, nothing altered, and without any peace agreement with the Russians or anything, you're not looking at a major change in how oil is, and there's still the question: is there going to be more sabotage in that, which will reduce supplies, even if it's the shadow fleet or whatever? Those all have real complications, and this is problematic for growth. Plain and simple. It just that's straightforward. Um, Europeans are really talking about seizing all that Russian money now and using it as collateral for loans that will help boost their economy. So, that's the true thing. It's just a question of the idea is that while Belgium is balked on the idea of taking the assets, the European countries are being charged with guaranteeing that if the Russians don't lose, and they aren't giving guarantees that the various European countries will make up the money, and that becomes an interesting one. So it's basically off-book borrowing is what they're going to be doing, and if they get away with it, then they'll have quite a bit of money and is supporting all their industry, but it's not really productive economic growth from a broader standpoint. It's just military spending doesn't really do that. Yes, it provides short-term jobs in that, but it's not a future growth in technologies or anything like that that's going to produce something productive. So, and that's still all. This is still going to be a bonus for gold going forward. It's just a matter of little events are going to cause bursts. You're getting no assistance whatsoever from the crypto community. They're sort of in a wash as well. Stuck in the same kind of malaise, and they've had to deal with that whole drop-off situation. So, from that standpoint, we did fill in all the positive extremes that had happened prior, from June and July, and just back in the same spot. So it's damaging for those that got in late, but for everyone else, nothing's really all that different than it was. You just have your paper gains removed unless they've been actively trading them. So we had seen the MBI white spike that took place here. We had the short rally cover, and then there was the brief move that came down. Wasn't enough to get us all the way to the 50%, so it was just a matter of waiting for another MBI white spike, and this one happened with magenta below 25, and that is nightmare situation. And as soon as that faded, then the 50 broke and you moved all the way to the zero. It was pretty clean from that standpoint. And so you can see right now we're in a mild short rally cover from that, but just to get you to 50%, it's not going to do much more than that at this particular stage, and you're going to fight back and forth within that. So, is it a stall of the Christmas rally? Not necessarily. It's just lack of direction makes it harder. From this 5 minute view, yeah, you can see it was pretty much straight down, and then later in the day, the pop back up just to balance the option book going forward there. And Asian session pretty neutral, and then we get into the European. It's been a little bit back and forth. There was big fade and then major drop, and kind of rattling back in between. So we're at the zero line, relatively, slightly positive at this moment, +3. I would expect you're just going to be back and forth on the sides of that one. There's nothing, unless you get a major announcement of something significant, and some of the numbers that are going to be supposed to be coming out. Will they show anything relatively important that will cause a move? We'll just wait and see. But we'll know it ahead of time as it comes in through the readings, because information always leaks out, and we see those early movements. That's just the way of it. As always, anything relevant, put it on this team chat. Have a good one. Trade well.